Hey guys, Sports Simplified here with breaking news! Now, no, it's not super breaking news by today's standards, but in baseball history, it is most definitely breaking news. Now, the three new rules MLB has introduced this year have been game-changing. The pitch clock, the bigger bases, and the reduction of the shift. All three have had major impacts on the year this year. Now, if you are not familiar with these new rules, let me break them down for you. The way the pitch clock works is that when no runners are on base, the pitcher has a 15-second clock where they need to pitch the ball. If they do not pitch the ball in that 15-second time frame, then they are charged with a pitch clock violation, that being a called ball for that at-bat. Now on the flip side, the batter has to be in the box and facing the pitcher by the 8-second mark, or else he is called for a pitch clock violation, that being a called strike. Now an important note for each at-bat is that a batter is given a timeout where they can step out of the box and reset, but only once an at-bat, whereas before the pitch clock, they could do it as many times as they wanted, which would definitely be annoying. Now, when there are runners on base, it is now a 20-second pitch clock, and for each runner on base, a pitcher is given 2 disengagements, that meaning they can throw over to first or they can take a step off the mound. Now, a pitcher is granted an additional pickoff attempt, however, it needs to be successful. If the pickoff attempt is not successful, then the runner is granted the next base. Now that we're done with the pitch clock, I'm going to move over to the reduction of the shift. Now, the reduction of the shift, the reason I call it a reduction of the shift, unlike the quote-unquote banning of the shift that MLB had in their ad campaign before the season, is because there still is kind of a shift. The only difference is that there are certain rules that regulate it and heavily restrict it. Now, those rules are more like there cannot be 4 outfielders, there cannot be 5 infielders. The infielders have to be on the dirt. They can't be no shallow right field or shallow left field for pull hitters. And the second baseman and the shortstop have to both be on their respective sides of second base. The MLB rule is that 2 infielders have to be either on the left or the right side of the infield at all times. Now, with those rules, the new quote-unquote shift is that the shortstop or the second baseman go all the way close to the second base bag, and that second base or shortstop, depending on the right or left hitter, will play that almost short right field or short left field just all the way back on the dirt. Therefore, it's a modified shift, which still can have an impact, just not as much as before. Or a better way to put it is that it's not as dramatic of a shift. Now, the final main rule change is the bigger bases. Now, no, they are not as big as pizza boxes, but they were increased just enough so that way the goal is to encourage more stolen bases. Now, overall, these new rules have had positive impacts on the game of baseball. There have been more stolen bases, batting average has been steadily increased this year from the previous couple seasons, and also more runs are being scored during the games. Now, the more runs and the batting average increase is heavily due to the reduction of the shift. But the biggest change of all, as the pitch clock has greatly reduced the amount of time of the game, as the average time of an MLB game today is 2.5 hours, compared to last season's average time of game being 3 hours and 6 minutes. Now, the reduction of time as well as the increase of activity has greatly increased the amount of fans attending games, as the average attendance this year is up a whopping 10% from the previous season, some numbers that haven't been recorded since the steroid era. If you did make it to the end of the video, make sure to comment down your favorite baseball movie quote, and as always, like and follow for more.